Addiction is a monster that's lurking in every corner, waiting to prey on our loved ones, and especially our youth and kids. It's time we stop treating addiction as a taboo topic and start talking about it openly and honestly. Did you know that addiction isn't just limited to drugs and alcohol? It can manifest in many forms, including social media addiction, food addiction, gambling addiction, and even addiction to online shopping. Yes, that's right, you heard it correctly. Addiction can happen when you're scrolling through your Instagram feed, or when you're binge-watching shows on Netflix. Addiction is a disease that can creep up on anyone, regardless of their age, gender, or social status. The consequences of addiction can be devastating. Substance addiction can lead to health problems such as liver damage, heart disease, and respiratory problems. It can also cause financial ruin and social isolation. Those struggling with addiction may find it difficult to maintain relationships or hold down a job, and they may resort to criminal activities to fund their addiction. Behavioral addictions can also lead to a host of negative consequences. Gambling addiction, for example, can lead to financial ruin and debt. Social media addiction can lead to decreased productivity and poor mental health. Food addiction can lead to obesity and related health problems. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, in 2020, approximately 7.9 million people aged 12 or older had both a mental health disorder and a substance use disorder. That's an alarming number, folks. It's time we start treating addiction as a mental health issue and not as a moral failing. So, how can we tackle addiction? Firstly, we need to start by educating ourselves and our loved ones about the dangers of addiction. We need to create awareness about the different forms of addiction and how it affects our brain chemistry. Addiction is not just a physical dependence on substances, but it's also a mental dependence that can alter the way we think and behave. Secondly, we need to provide support and resources to those who are struggling with addiction. This can include counseling, support groups, and access to medical treatment. We need to ensure that those who are struggling with addiction are not stigmatized or ostracized, but rather given the help and support they need to overcome this monster. Finally, we need to start by setting a good example for our youth and children. We need to create a culture where addiction is not glamorized but rather seen as a serious issue that requires our attention and intervention. We need to teach our children healthy coping mechanisms and how to deal with stress and anxiety without resorting to substances or other forms of addiction. Addiction is a complex issue that requires a multifaceted approach to tackle. We need to start by educating ourselves and our loved ones, providing support and resources to those who are struggling, and setting a good example for our youth and children. Let's fight this monster together and create a society where addiction is no longer a taboo topic, but rather one that we openly discuss and work to overcome.